I was with him when he was inducted to the St. Louis City Hall of Fame, and he got up and he told the audience this. I thought I knew how to work until I came with Coach Vermeil and his staff and his team. And he said, after 3 days of practicing and looking at tapes, I watched myself in contrast to my teammates, and I was embarrassed because they were going at a different tempo, different speed all through the practice. You know, in the NFL today, you film everything. You film, everything's on digital. I mean, everything. You can walk 2 minutes off the field and see it all over again. That's just how quick everything goes. But what did it do for him? It made him the NFL's MVP, and twice. So there's no substitute for working hard. And if you can surround yourself, some people just naturally like to work. They enjoy it. Some people come to work, the first thing they think about is when's it going to be over? When can I get out of here? Yes. I've said to my grandsons a couple times, I ask them how it's going. They talk about what they did last weekend. I say, now listen, young man, if you want to enjoy weekends, you better do more during the week. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's important. And the other thing you got to be is you got to be sincere. You got to tell the truth. There's no way you can do anything that I've just talked about. There's no way you can really sell caring. There's no way you can be a good example. There's no way you can build an atmosphere of trust. You know, trust is not a physical thing. It's an emotional thing. And once trust is built, a lot of other things just automatically encompass it, come along with it. You define your plan, you go to work, you build relationships, but you got to be sincere. You have to be believable. There's an old term that's so true. If you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. It takes a long time to establish credibility, very little time to lose it. So you always want to work establishing a deeper level of credibility, which means you're emotionally honest, physically honest, you're technically honest, and you're intellectually honest in everything you say. A lot of people cheat on it, and it usually catches up. This is the approach. So help me God, I've used 3 NFL football teams and a Rose Bowl championship team. I didn't put it all together at once. I learned from my kids. I learned from watching players that got better by working hard, and the other guy played next to him didn't work nearly as hard and didn't get better. You don't have to be too smart to figure out what you have to get them all to do. All work hard to get better. Then you have to figure out a type of organizational practice plan and surround yourself with people that believe in what you believe, and you can get it done. This weekend we're going to be watching the New England Patriots, by far the best NFL program in football, play the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? And you know, I coach Philadelphia. I'm wearing my Eagles Super Bowl ring right now. You get a Super Bowl ring even when you lose. But I have never been introduced as a losing Super Bowl coach. Once I won the Super Bowl, every time I'm introduced, it's you're a winning Super Bowl coach. You know, it takes the same thing to get there and lose as it does to get there and win. In fact, my Eagles did more to get there and lose than my winners did in St. Louis to get there and win. My Eagles didn't have 5 NFL Offensive Hall of Fame players playing on the same field. You talk about the greatest show on turf. There was 5 Hall of Fame players on the same team, on the same side of the line of scrimmage. No wonder you could score points. We had 5 guys that touched the ball. They could score even if you didn't screw it up as a coach. But anyway, it's going to be a great football game. To beat New England, here's my theory. As I mentioned in this to the head coach of the Eagles. You got to beat them mentally and emotionally first. Eagles physically, I think, have more talent than New England does. It's never made much difference to New England because they beat you anyway. One reason they beat you anyway is, number one, they expect to win. One reason they come out in the last few years, 8 come from behind victories. The last one, the Super Bowl, the championship game a week ago. They expect to come from behind. The negative part of that is the opponent expects them to come from behind. You know, I'll tell you when I came to that conclusion. Last year, I'm in Houston on wine business. I'm in Vermeil wine business, okay? And I'm in Houston. That's our best city outside the Napa Valley, where I was raised. And I'm sitting there, and I'm with an Italian guy, wonderful guy, 3rd quarter, he loves wine. He helps me in my wine business. He says, let's leave. I know where there's a great Italian restaurant, great Italian wine list. I said, you know something? I don't think it's time to leave this game. He said, what do you mean? I said, I don't trust that feeling. I said, I still think these guys can come back and win. Why? Because I've studied their history. I've studied their history. And I'm thinking today, as I think about, I followed them all year, I'm thinking as of today, if I think that way, what's to stop a team from thinking that way? So my advice to Coach Peterson in Philadelphia was work mentally as well as physically all week. Your players are going to hear all week. They land in there today, right? In Minnesota, about how the England, Belichick, Brady, they come from behind, they win. Just look at their record. Get bumped behind, you win. Well, somehow you've got to eliminate that thought with your players. I have a feeling when games get going like that, the opponent knows what New England's going to do, because New England knows what they're going to do, and they've done it so often. It creates that kind of thinking in the opponent. Philadelphia's good enough to beat them. They really are, even with the backup quarterback. I've always believed he could play, and fortunately, Doug Peterson believed he could play. It'll be a good football game, but I will be surprised, okay? And I'm not a gambler, but if I were a gambler, I would bet the Eagles. I think there's a point to where you get so much horsepower out of so many guys that there's just not much left to get unless the other team cooperates and plays poorly. I can't see a team playing poorly. So I just think the Eagles can beat them. I'm not saying that because I'm an old Eagle coach at one time, but it'll be a great football game. You know, I and Jairus enjoy, like I said, I took 35 years and condensed it into 20 minutes for you, but I'm very sincere when I'm talking about because I've lived it. I've lived it, and I know how important relationships are. And I don't go a week. Here I am at 81 years old. I don't go a week that I don't hear from 2, 3, or 4, or 5 football players that I've coached, all the way back to Hillsdale High School in San Mateo. That final thing when they say it's either a message, email, or a written note, or a phone call, they say, "I love you, coach." That's what you get out of coaching, with a philosophy that includes them in caring. Thank you very much.